Are we all good to go? No?
Whoever's marked this is, I'm on.
Yeah.
You tell me when you're ready, is that all good? Okay, so the news today is that the system is intensifying. The modelling now shows that the Cyclone Alfred, is still a Category 2, but likely to become a high-end Category 2, with wind gusts that will shape up similarly to a Category 3 off the shoreline. Possibly crossing now between Caboolture and Tweed Heads early Friday morning. The gale force winds are likely to increase tomorrow night, and we need people to make sure that they are safe in their homes from 6 o'clock tonight. They need to also plan for power outages. There will be extreme wave conditions and all beaches are closed. We want to urge that people must stay away from the beaches. This morning we've seen examples of people entering the waters. The swells are really large. Please stay away from the beaches. And I believe the rock walls are of some concern as well. So stay away from the rock walls as well. Gold Coast, unfortunately, remains the major area of concern of all the local governments along the coastline. We still want people to go to the City of Gold Coast dashboard for the major information, the most up-to-date information, because that's where the truth is and that's where we need to get messaging to you. So just Google dashboard and the link will come up, and it will take you to the blue tab, which allows you to check the flood modelling for your home. I again reiterate that the flood modelling is the very worst case scenario. Our people have modelled it that way so that you can be sure to understand that anything less than what is anticipated will be a better outcome for you. But the modelling suggests now that flooding may go as far west as almost to Toowoomba. So evacuation centres I probably need to talk about. Runaway Bay is open and operational. We will be opening Burleigh Heads, and the Pimpamar Sports Hub has been added. And I'm sorry, the other one is the Nerang Bicentennial Centre. My notes have all got out of whack today and I don't quite know where I am. But we're still working and expecting the potential for 800 millimetres of rain over 2 or 3 days. So it's not good. There will be no public transport at all, so all trains, trams, buses, light rail, ferry, all off, all closed for tomorrow and Thursday, as I believe will be state schools. Private schools and childcare centres will be making their own arrangements. All non-essential council services come to a close at 5 today, so that's the pools, the community centres. Anything non-essential will not be operational, and waste services are also suspended for Thursday and Friday, and the landfills will not be open to the public. The conditions tomorrow are going to be awful, with gale force winds and heavy rainfall. Much of the focus for rainfall is between Southport and Byron Bay. So I guess that makes you understand that we are going to be potentially the most impacted local government area. And that's because I guess it's anticipated it will still cross the coast north of our city, and the worst effect is from the southern end of the cyclone. So very heavy rainfall will continue until late Friday and into the first half of Saturday. I want to also remind people of the messaging we've been giving all week about loose objects. Still have time, you still have time to tie down any loose objects, secure outdoor furniture, and if you have a high-rise unit and you're on a balcony with furniture and goods on your balcony, get them inside, please. Remember to go to the dashboard for information. Remember that if it's flooded, forget it. We also want people to beware of fallen power lines. So there's a number that you can note for any fallen power lines, and it's 131962. That's really important. Stay away from fallen power lines, and the likelihood is that there will be fallen power lines. There are 494 rooms available for the homeless. We haven't seen a great uptake, but a lot of work is being done in that space to ensure that there is somewhere safe for the homeless to go, and there is plenty of capacity. The same as the council's evacuation centres. We have additional capacity organised. So for anyone who gets in strife, if they look at the website, at the dashboard, the information will be there and it will be available to you. We have officers working with Set Free Care and the churches also assisting with the relocation of people who need housing. The areas most of concern to us, of course, yesterday were announced as Southport to Surface and Eleanora and Paradise Point. So a lot of work's being done in those spaces right at the moment as well. I think that brings me up to date with what we've learned today. I'm happy to take any questions.
Just with the sandbags, I noticed that they are closed today. Was that always the plan? Did everyone understand? Can you walk through what's going on with those places?
I understood they were open until midday today, and yes, we now need to start getting people to be safe in their homes, getting them off the road and getting ready at their homes for this event.
Apart from following the dashboard, what should people in canal homes specifically be doing to prepare?
There's nothing specific for any area of the Gold Coast. Let me reiterate that this is going to be a very widespread event, and the modelling shows for the canal estates just as it does for anyone on a dry residential block. So just check the dashboard. It will give you a clear indication of the modelling that has been done, and again, I repeat, it's worst case scenario. So I understand that the Premier had requested different types of modelling from 1.5 to 1.5 without rainfall. What we have on our system is the worst case so that people can look at that and work back from there, but be prepared in the case of the worst outcome.
Just checking, you said 800 millimetres now of rain over 2 or 3 days.
Correct.
So we were talking about 600 millimetres with this map, so will that map be updated at all? Do you know?
The modelling's been done on 1 metre plus 600 millimetres, and that's where we think it should be done. It gives the worst case scenario. The 800 millimetres is over successive days. So I think we're right on the money according to the information that has been provided today in the updates.
How else can residents prepare if they can't get their hands on some sand this afternoon?
Well, we've given plenty of warning about sandbags. They can still go out this afternoon. They're available at Bunnings and other hardware stores. So if they're really concerned, they can still get sandbags. But just take precautions around your own home. And I know it's been suggested that blankets and towels can be used if people get into that situation unexpectedly. So yeah, it's just going to be a matter of common sense. But we've tried to prepare everyone so that they do understand that this looks like the most significant event in our city in terms of destructive winds and heavy rain that we've seen since 1954.
Gold Coast Airport has confirmed that it will be closing from 4 p.m. this afternoon with no flights in or out. Can you recall a time that an event had such a big impact in a city like this?
No, I can't, and I guess the fact that it's the biggest event since 1954 explains why. The airport is optimistic that they may be able to reopen sometime on Saturday, but of course that will depend on the weather. Every event across the city too has now been cancelled. In what was one of our largest event weeks ever, we've seen the cancellation of the surfing, of the golf, of the races, of the AFL, of the NRL, and of course Green Day. So it's been a very disappointing week for many people event-wise. Tourists coming here haven't been able to arrive. Disappointing, but of most concern now is the safety of our people, and we're doing our best. We've got a team of hundreds. Just in the back room here, we have probably about 30 development compliance officers who could be home with their families getting organised, but they've gathered here to show support and learn as much as they can about how they can help everyone through what looks like being a very serious weather event.
Given the airport's closure, does that mean the mayor won't make it back?
The mayor will not make it back until the weekend now. The mayor had booked a flight. It's very disappointing for him that he's not here, but the flight he was booked on had engine difficulties and was cancelled. He's now booked to come back, but he probably won't get back to our city until the weekend, but he'll definitely be here for recovery.
Can I just ask about, we're seeing with coastal erosion at the moment as those waves really come through, some residents who are on the beachfront becoming quite concerned. Just get your comment on what's happening in that erosion at the moment.
Well, nothing right now. It would be pointless to have the crews out there now. It's disappointing that it's already started because we have a lot worse to come. So we've moved sand for many years now. It's always in our budget. I guess we'll be moving a bit more this year.
Donna, can you talk about the flooding tonight? Because there's an alert that's gone out about flooding tonight. Where do you expect that could be and how severe?
I haven't been briefed on flooding tonight, only from tomorrow. So there was potentially heavy rain overnight tonight, but no flood watch has been mentioned. You might like to ask the disaster coordinator after me if he's had any information of that nature.
We're seeing a lot of surfers jump in, especially around Kira. How concerning is that time of the hay with those swells, those cyclone swells that are coming through?
It makes me really mad. I was down at Burleigh Heads this morning, I think at 10 to 7, or 10 to 6. But anyway, it was early, and there were people in the surf and a whole bunch of young kids going into the surf, young men. Crazy stuff. The swell is enormous. We can't be more clear than when we close the beaches, the best thing to do is stay away from the beach. Any more questions? Would you like me to hand over to the disaster coordinator? Thanks, Mark.
Good afternoon, Mark Ryan. I'm the local disaster coordinator for the City of Gold Coast. To the question about the flooding tonight, what we've done out of an abundance of caution is, out of our warning strategy, the city has moved to the next stage of warning this morning, which is watch and act. As part of that, we released an emergency alert to say that flooding could start from tonight. So the rain that is forecasted to start this evening and then go into towards tomorrow and certainly Friday. This has allowed a push notification to be sent and received by all of those within the coastal area. And what we're doing that is out of an abundance of caution, and whilst we still have full operating telecommunications and power, that we've taken that just to another, another level. So if the community hasn't seen our opt-in service, our advertisements that we've been putting up, the media release, it's just another warning strategy that we've done. So it's from tonight and existing to cover over the next few days.
I actually got that message this afternoon. As you move on, will you be able to give sort of direct messaging about where that flooding's occurring?
Absolutely. So one of the messages we've been saying for a few days now is Google Gold Coast Disaster Dashboard, and there's the first red button is on there is sign up to Gold Coast Alerts. What that allows us to do is directly from the centre here on the Gold Coast is send targeted messages. So what we will see is from tonight and over the next few days, parts of the city, catchments within the city, starting to change colour. So at the moment, the entire city has moved to orange, watch and act. We will start to see some of those warnings now starting to move to emergency warning, and then it has a call to action. So signing up for those alerts allow you to do that. We've just, in fact, updated our system, so particularly in a number of our catchments across the city, this will happen automatically. We've mapped the catchments, you're in a flood warning area, and you'll receive those notifications. So what we will start to see from tonight is the city starting to be broken up in warning areas.
Okay, all good. Thank you. We'll probably see you, I don't know whether we'll see you tomorrow.
Any plans for tomorrow?
It's being suggested I might be camping here.
You hosting a party, are you?
If only.
Is it BYO?
We might all get stuck here depending.
We get you looking at the map and then do some cutaways. Yeah, good, wet.
This one really worried me
Yeah,
when I
it's
saw
long
it
now.
today.
Yeah.
When I saw that it was here, because